Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. My name is Ijeoma Egwuatu, and these are the top stories. Opposition senators oppose Tambuwal as minority leader. Operators reveal a federal 400 billion naira in 4 weeks of fuel subsidy removal. INEC assures it will soon take action on suspended Adamawa REC, and Abia State Governor suspends head of service and permanent secretaries. On the foreign scene, Cambodian PM threatens Facebook ban ahead of elections. Details now. Thank you for staying with us. The World News at 12 begins with senators elected on the platforms of opposition political parties moving against the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Atiku Abubakar's choice of former Sokoto State Governor Aminu Tambuwal as the Senate Minority Leader. The agitated senators have vowed to resist Atiku's move to impose Tambuwal on them, just the same way they fought against the imposition of Godswill Akpabio by the APC and President Tinubu on the Senate. A PDP senator from Rivers State, another senator from the North, and the ranking senator from the Southwest, who spoke under the condition of anonymity, separately vowed to resist attempts to impose a Tambuwal on the Senate. They expressed their readiness to vote for any other person aside him. The senators insisted that Tambuwal had a record of throwing his political allies under the bus at critical moments to promote his selfish interests, and also that he lacks the capacity to provide the needed leadership as a minority leader. The senators resolved to vote for any ranking senator other than the former Sokoto State Governor. Some of the minority senators who spoke after a meeting on Wednesday said that lending on the market determined the price of forex. He added that the impact on the masses would gradually decrease by introduction of compressed natural gas (CNG) into the sector. Now reacting to this and other issues in the news, we have Mr. Cyril Abako, a political commentator and social affairs analyst. Let's take a listen to him.
The question as to the emergence of a minority leader on the floor of the Senate sounds laughable to me. Like I said during the election of the principal leaders of the National Assembly, this is a game of men. It's a game of weights. It's a game of ideas and values. If you feel you have what it takes, get on the floor of the House. Be nominated, tell the Senate, tell your colleagues what it is you want to bring to the table, and let that be a vote. There's no need to cry foul over or cry blue mother, really, saying that the president has the hand in what is about to happen or not. Now, over to the matter at hand. Sincerely speaking, if the PDP is concerned about who emerges its minority leader, I think it's a party affair. It's an intra-party affair. Why bring it to the public? Why accuse the APC of trying to impose leaders of the party on the floor of the center? As far as I'm concerned, it doesn't hold water. You are a party. As far as I know, the leader of the PDP today is former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. So, I mean, what's the issue in being able to get your act together and put somebody there whom you know to be the party's own nominee? The APC adopted Akpabio and Barrow, and they've emerged Senate President and Deputy Senate President. If there was ever, and that was not even without opposition, so if there was ever any issue within the PDP, I think it should be settled internally. The APC will also have to appoint a majority leader, on the Senate. Should the APC accuse the PDP of trying to impose people, its candidate on them? I don't think it stands. Rather, it speaks to the party's loss of face, the party's loss of place, the party's loss of pace, and the party's loss of power and position. The PDP for some time was the strongest party in Nigeria. They wanted to be the biggest party in Africa for 60 years. How have they lost it so soon? Why blame the hand of Esau and the voice of Jacob? I would like if they are worth their onion, they should simply get their act together and do what is right. Blaming the APC wouldn't change anything, would it? It wouldn't come to anything. You blame the APC. If the contest is between Tambuwal and maybe the other person that is also seeking for the vote, why can't the party put it out together and then make sure that since it is largely about their party and the members on the floor of the Senate, it should be a party affair. There's no need to come to the public and blame the APC. Then to
The opposition senators are actually saying they don't trust Tambuwal, that they don't trust him at all to lead them because they do not trust his political precedents, that they don't want him to lead them at all, that they think he actually has much more political ambition than just being a minority leader in the Senate, and he is the choice of Atiku Abubakar, the PDP presidential candidate in the 2023 general elections, but they don't want him at all.
We know these issues, but that post can be left vacant. It can be left in a limbo. Somebody will emerge. So my own is, look, when the day comes, put your best foot forward and let's see who wins. Democracy is a game of numbers. Democracy is a game of lobbying. It's a game of interaction and negotiation. Why the way they hit up the polity? Look, the fact is this: whoever becomes Senate minority leader, I'm wondering what do Nigerians benefit from it in the anyway. What do they benefit from all the years we've had Senate president, majority leader, minority really benefited from all of it. So to make a hue and cry over the current impasse in the choice of who becomes a Senate minority leader, they are calling public sentiment, which is fine, but in the end, how does it benefit the common man? There are issues to be dealt with in the public space and in the economy. What in the way we've seen them act really is that political parties are only a means of getting power. Once they get there, I think the greater the stake, the more money you perhaps come to your pocket. So in the end, how this will even benefit Nigerians is not even the discussion. The discussion is around, I trust you, you don't trust me. It's not the way it really should be. So whoever becomes minority leader, I don't think I really care much. But the fact is democracy. Play your card and win your game.
So I'm moving to the other issue. Operators, oil market operators have said that the FG saved a whopping 400 billion naira in this 1 month of President Tinubu's administration. The people are still suffering the effects of fuel subsidy. We have this 400 billion in our coffers. What are they to do with it?
I'm glad you yourself have said what government always said, that they were going to save the money and reinvest it. But where? We really don't know. They've not said anything about it. Gladly, the salary break is over. Hopefully, government will be able to come up and tell us some more things than what we know right now. That's on the one hand. On the other hand, is the fact that, look, the NNPC has no business fixing price when you float when you float it. It's a travesty of some kind. Create an environment where more licenses can be issued, people can import petrol and sell it organically. This trying to create the whole thing, what has government said, what the government not said, how much is the NNPC fixing? How can we in a democracy be practicing an economy that looks like quickly and create an environment where people can get licenses, go and buy the product from wherever they know they can buy it for cheap, cheap at competitive price, come home and then dispense for several weeks now. People are not able to access petrol, and people are selling for 700, 800, even up to 1,000 naira at the time when we've deregulated. I think what we need to do is allow them to be able to buy so that they can let the market fix the price on its own and not to be fixing it indirectly. They talk about saving 400 billion is good. Of course, in more months to come, they tell us they've saved up to 1 trillion, they've saved up to 2 trillion, but where is all that money going? What are the niche areas Nigeria is desperately in need of help? Education, health, transport. How are we going to plow back this money to make the economy, boom and blossom? I think that for me is really what the issue should be.
In the meantime, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has said it will soon take action on the suspended resident electoral commissioner of Adamawa State, Hudu Yunusa Ari. INEC National Commissioner for Information and Voter Education, Festus Okoye, disclosed this during a television interview. The Adamawa rec had stirred controversy when he announced the supplementary governorship election results in Adamawa State, while collation was still ongoing. He had illegally declared Senator Aisha Dahiru Binani as winner of the election. Following this development, former President Muhammadu Buhari had ordered the probe of all the security operatives involved in the illegal act. The INEC commissioner had explained that the police have concluded an investigation into the case, and in the next few weeks, citizens will be informed of what happened, as there is an interface between the Nigerian police and the commission. In another development, a spokesman of former President Muhammadu Buhari, Malam Garba Shehu, yesterday debunked social media reports that Buhari had in his meeting with President Bola Tinubu pleaded that former government officials should not be investigated or probed. You will recall that a social media report had it that when Buhari and Tinubu met in London last week, he had pleaded with Tinubu not to probe his cabinet members. But describing the report as fake, Garba Shehu said it is fake news that should not be discussed or given any energy or air of publicity. He explained that the former president wished to remain outside the spotlight so as not to distract the new administration. Elsewhere, Abia State Governor Alex Oti has issued a directive for the immediate suspension of the head of service and all permanent secretaries in the state civil service, according to a late-night press release on Thursday. The decision comes following the inauguration of the Judicial Panel of Inquiry on the recovery of properties and funds belonging to the Abia State government. In the press release, the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Kazie Uko, stated that the Director of the Ministry of Education has been appointed as the acting head of service by the Governor. The press release further stated that all permanent secretaries, with the exception of the Clerk of the State House of Assembly and the Solicitor General, are directed to hand over their duties to the most senior director in their respective ministries, departments and agencies. The statement emphasized that the directive is effective immediately. Earlier this week, Governor Alex Oti had inaugurated a 5-member judicial panel of inquiry tasked with the recovery of looted government properties and funds. You are currently listening to the World News at 12 on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. After the break, we'll bring you stories on the foreign scene. Welcome back. You're still listening to the World News at 12 on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Now, on the foreign scene, Cambodia's leader Hun Sen has quit Facebook and threatened to block it in his country after the platform's oversight board recommended that he should be suspended for 6 months. Hun Sen had called for violence against his political opponents in a video in January, which was viewed 600,000 times. His move comes days before he launches a re-election campaign to extend his 38-year-long rule in the country. President Hun Sen was a prolific Facebook user, and his page had 14 million followers. After he left the platform on Thursday, he also threatened to block Facebook in the country. Talking to garment workers in Porsat province on Friday, he warned that he could at any time block the platform for a short period or forever to prevent exiled opposition politicians from talking to the country's citizens. He urged Cambodians to migrate to other social media platforms, including Telegram and TikTok, which he has also moved to. Critics have said the 69-year-old leader's massive social media reach has been due in part to bots or fake accounts. Facebook parent Meta's oversight board on Thursday recommended his suspension for 6 months over an earlier video posted in January. It overturned an earlier decision by Facebook to keep the video live, citing newsworthiness. And that's it on the World News at 12. Just before we wrap up, let's take a look at the top stories again. You heard that opposition senators have opposed Tambuwal as minority leader of the Senate. You also heard that operators have revealed that the federal government saved the 400 billion naira in 4 weeks of President Tinubu's administration and the removal of fuel subsidy. You heard that the INEC has assured that it will soon take action on the suspended Adamawa resident electoral commissioner, and the Abia State governor has suspended the heads of service and the permanent secretaries in the state. On the foreign scene, Cambodian Prime Minister has threatened Facebook ban ahead of elections. And that is a wrap on the World News at 12. My name is Ijeoma Innocent. Please follow our social media handles